Hey guys, so let's talk about Johnny Somali. He is a rage bait YouTuber. If you don't know who he is, I will run it down really quickly. I don't know all the details because, frankly, I didn't care that much. I saw a couple of his videos by happenstance, and I was kind of outraged for the people that I had to endure him. So, like I said, he's a rage bait YouTuber. And I think he did a lot of stuff in the US. I really don't know. But I started seeing them when he went overseas. So he first went to Japan and he did a lot of really dumb things that were annoying and pissed people off there. So, first of all, if you know Japan at all, they're very systematic, they're very orderly, they're very disciplined, which I greatly respect. And they will go onto the subway in a very orderly fashion. They make room for everybody. They keep their distance. It's a very disciplined manner. And they're quiet. They're quiet in public. Everything is through their headphones. They don't make a lot of extra noise. They don't like loud Americans that are very entitled. And I understand that. I don't appreciate going in public where people are talking on their cell phones on speakerphone. I didn't even know that was a thing until recently, and now I see it everywhere. What are these people? You're not entitled to take up all the noise where I can't even hear my own music because you have to talk on the speakerphone. That's ridiculous. Anyway, that's what he would do. He would go onto a crowded subway and blast his music. And when they asked him to turn it down, he refused. And they even had security. I don't know if they were security or police officers. I really don't know. But they would ask him to leave and he refused. And so it was a thing. He ended up being... Oh, the most egregious thing he did was he would go into a public place, and I'm trying to remember, I don't know if it was a building, but I think he did like in a park or courtyard or something, and he would yell, "Nagasaki and Hiroshima, you deserved it, and we'll do it again. We'll do it again. You saw our power." What? Look, I understand the whole situation. They bombed Pearl Harbor, they pulled us into the war, and we ended it by dropping a few bombs. I don't agree with it, but it happened. That's the history. And that was devastating to Japan. Absolutely devastating. It took a long time for them to come back from that, to regrow. And now those areas are growing back. They're thriving again after a long time it took them to thrive. And they're thriving again. Good for them. That is amazing. I fully support that. I love that they're thriving again. But how disgusting that is to go into a public space and be like, oh, throwing it into their face, forcing it down their throats. Like, it's just so disgusting. It's so disgusting. It's like going into a place where you're the only white person and there's like all black people and you're saying, slavery, we'll do it again. Like, what? That's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. I can't say that enough. You are the villain of this story. That's what it is you are the villain. And I think all these rage baiters are the villain of the story. They're the villains. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. I think it's deplorable. And I think people need to stop. They can't treat their fellow humans like that. And that's why people don't like them. And so, great. They're getting views online. Good for you. Oh my gosh, you got a view because you're terribleness. Is that how you want to be known? Is that how, when you are 40 years old, maybe you have children, maybe you're married, maybe you're actually doing something with your life and you want to run in politics or something like that, and every time somebody looks you up, they see how of a disgusting human being you are. Is that really how you want to be known? I mean, what? Anyway, so in Japan, he got arrested after that. And he got fined, I think, when they put it into USD, it was about $200,000. And then he got kicked out of the country. So there was no jailment. He just got kicked out and he trespassed. He said, they cannot come back again. You are not welcome in Japan. Do not ever come back. So he then went to Israel and assaulted, I don't know how. I did not see details on how he assaulted a female police officer, but he assaulted a female police officer. What? No. No, 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 no. Then he went to South Korea. Now, he did a lot of the same things he did in Japan. So, let's see. He actually did all the same things. He went into public settings and publicized, and blasted music and refused to leave. So there's all these things that he did. Now he got arrested, and today, at least today is when we got the news. So it's posting all over the websites, all over the newspapers. Sorry, couldn't think of the word. And he finally got sentenced. And so it's only 6 months. Now, the funny thing is I learned about his sentencing because of somebody else that posted somewhere, and they were talking about how terrible it was. And they said he was going to go to a prison camp. I've not found that information on a reputable site yet. So I'm not going to say that that's a thing, but they were saying that he was being sentenced to a prison camp, and it's, oh my gosh, it's so terrible. It's 6 months. So even if he got into a prison camp, which, by the way, I think hard work will do him good. That is what he needs right now. He needs hard work to know him disrupting people that are going to their hard work jobs is pretty disgusting. Like, he needs to see he's the villain. He needs to see what other people go through so maybe he can appreciate his entitled life. Anyway, so South Korea jailed on a public nuisance charge. Good for South Korea. I'm so on board with this. Go South Korea. He's only 25 years old. Self-proclaimed internet troll. Wow. What a way to be known. How disgusting. Okay, so enraged South Koreans by kissing a statue honoring tens of thousands of women forced into wartime sexual slavery by Japan. Oh gosh, that's so disgusting. How insulting. How insulting. How insulting to Korea. How insulting to victims of sexual assault everywhere. Okay. I won't keep saying that word. I'm just going to say SA. An American live streamer who enraged South Korea by kissing a statue honoring women forced into SA was jailed for 6 months Wednesday on public nuisance and other charges. His real name is Ramzi Khalid Ismail, I guess, had been barred from leaving South Korea since his indictment in 2024. Oh, it was the end of last year. That's right. I remember seeing that he got arrested. I did not remember when it was. Okay, so his offenses included distributing sexual deepfakes. I don't know what those are. Oh, where's the rest of them? I saw them earlier. It was, one of the charges were interrupting everyday business or something like that. And he also vandalized a business. He threw noodles at one of the I don't know if she was a cashier or waitress or whatever, but he went into the store and threw noodles at her. Oh my gosh. No, I don't agree with it. I don't like it. Good for South Korea. That's all I can say. Good for South Korea. Anyway, Somali later apologized, saying he was unaware of the statue's significance and the clip was removed. But he continued to stir controversy in South Korea. So he was told, he apologized, removed the clip, but he continued his disturbing behavior. He just continued rage baiting South Koreans. That's not being apologetic. That's more of a, I'm sorry you're offended. I'll take this down because you were offended, but I don't really care that you were offended. I'm just going to do it just so, it looks good on me. Yeah, so because of all of his stunts, he did get beat up a few times. I did hear about that. I don't know if it's true, but he did get beat up a few times. So he was indicted over a number of disruptive acts, including an allegation that he caused a commotion at a convenience store in Seoul. Oh, it was a convenience store. That's it. And according to the Korea Herald, he admitted to all charges at his first trial hearing last March. Oh, it was last March? Really? That's longer ago than I thought, honestly. The defendant repeatedly committed crimes against unspecified members of the public to generate profit via YouTube and distributed the content in disregard of Korean law. See, that's another thing. A lot of these Americans, they go over to other countries and they don't actually know the law. They don't care. They're just entitled. They get away with everything in the United States. Their terrible behavior is accepted and looked over in the US, and so they don't pay any attention to it. And they don't realize that other countries have strict laws that don't allow you to do things like we do. I mean, you can't disrespect other people. You shouldn't disrespect anybody ever. I mean, who cares if you're being a little offensive? I think that's a little overkill, but you don't need to be disrespecting people. Local media reported that Somali apologized for his actions before entering court Wednesday, that his mother had submitted a petition for leniency last month. Prosecutors had sought 3 years in prison, but Somali received a reduced sentence due to the absence of severe harm to victims. Okay. Well, on trial last year, Somali attempted to enter the courtroom wearing a red MAGA hat associated with supporters of President Donald Trump, but was stopped. During the incident, he said that Korea is a vassal state of the United States, drawing backlash according to local reports. 4 months later, he was seen holding a Japanese rising sun flag, which is viewed in South Korea as a symbol of Japanese imperialism, and making remarks that Japan should reoccupy Korea. Oh gosh, I did not hear about that. He also proclaimed that Dokdo belongs to Japan, in reference to disputed islands that both countries claim as their own, local reports said. Somali has repeatedly drawn controversy while traveling outside the U.S., including during a trip to Japan where he taunted subway commuters about the U.S. atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki during World War II, which killed and maimed hundreds of thousands of people. Yeah, so that's what we were talking about earlier. I really don't like this behavior. I think this is an entitlement at its fullest, and I think it's really disgusting and disturbing. So, I hope you like this. I really just want to go through a few news articles here and there and maybe talk about some things that are going on. If you like that, then subscribe and like the video. I really want to see if anybody actually cares, but I thought it'd be fun to do, and I wanted to see what you guys think too. So tell me in the comments.